let's take a look at what we have this week. Here, this wonderful Halloween day, we are wrapping up the second unit of our programming class. So if we look here, we had module 1, module 2. We're at the end of module 2. If we look at our grade screen to see what's due, November 6th, which is next Sunday, module 2 project. Notice there's not an exam. We had a module 1 exam. There's not an exam for module 2. This is in place of our exam. So you know it's a pretty hefty project. So you need to spend some time on it. All right, let's go take a look at it. So when I go down to the module 2 project, all we have is this one page. It says, here's your chance to put your software development lifecycle to work. You have the know-how, and now it's time to showcase your Python programming skills. So complete the reading and the lessons. If you haven't read all the lessons, go ahead and do that. Practice using Python. Here is our assignment template and the rubric. By the way, let's look at the rubric. So there's 30 points to have all of this stuff in it, the software development lifecycle. 20 points on having the program design and performance, and 50 points in the program content. So it's 100 points, and it's broken up this way when I grade it. So if you want all 50 of those points, you got to make sure you have all of this. All 20 of those points, make sure you have all of that, all 30 of those points. So that rubric is there to help you understand how it's graded. Here is the assignment template. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to the bottom and print it. Because print it, if you do this save and print, it'll save it as a Google Doc for you. Now, for me, it'll save it as a Word document, but I'll bring it up on the screen anyway. It'll save as a Google Doc, and that way you have something that you can paste your work into. All right, so here it is. Module 2 project. Name, directions. Now you have an understanding of using functions and operations with numerical and non-numerical data. It's time to show the instructor and yourself what you can do with them. You're going to use the software development lifecycle to create the working program of your choice that will perform calculations with user input. Your program can include any Python skills and functions you've learned up to this point. All right. So this assignment has 5 steps. I'll make that red right here where you can see the assignment has 5 steps. Step 1, planning and analysis. Read the options carefully and choose one. Choose one. You got to choose which one you're going to do. Here's your wish list. You have your eye on a new gadget, a new game, maybe some new clothes. Well, now's your chance to create a program that calculates the total cost of 3 items on your wish list, including tax and shipping. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to create a wish list by selecting at least 3 items that you're wanting. All right. Do your research, find an online store where you can purchase those items and record the price of each one. Think about what user input is required for others to use your program, because you're going to write a program where somebody else chooses their 3 things, right? Like I'm going to run your program and I would select 3 things and the cost. Then think about how you'll write an equation to calculate the subtotal of your 3 items, along with the tax and the total purchasing cost with shipping. So to simplify this, we're all going to use 6.5% tax. All right, so you don't have to go look up tax somewhere. We're all going to use 6.5% tax and a $5.99 flat rate shipping. No matter what your 3 items are, it's going to be $5.99 to ship it. All right, 6.5% tax, $5.99 flat rate. The output of your program must include the following: the name of each item, the individual item's price, the subtotal for all 3 items, the total amount of tax for all 3 items, the shipping fee, and the total purchase cost with the tax and shipping. So you got a lot of print statements there. A lot of print statements that you're going to have. So you're going to have input statements for people to input the 3 things they would want, input their costs, then you're going to output each of these items. And here's a table you can use if you just need something to organize your data. You can put your item and your price to keep your things organized somewhere. Now here's option 2. Let's see, this was option 1. So if you don't want to do that one, let's eat. Everybody loves eating at restaurants. If you agree, take this opportunity to create a program that will calculate the total cost of a meal that includes an appetizer, an entree, a drink, and a dessert with 6.5% tax and a 20% tip at the end. All right, so list your favorite appetizer, entree, drink, dessert. Do your research, find the menu for your favorite restaurant, and put the prices of these items. Think again what the user input would be required for like me to use your program. Think about how you're writing an equation to calculate the subtotal of your meal and the total cost, including tax and a tip. Your program must output the following. All right, you got to have name of the appetizer, the name of the entree, the drink, the dessert, including the prices of each of those items, the subtotal for the meal that does not include the tax and the tip, subtotal, then the total amount of tax, and then the total amount of the tip, and finally the total cost of everything, meal with tax and tip. Here's another little chart where you can keep track of that. All right, you have option three choices here, guys. Programmer's Adventure. If you want to journey the road less traveled and create your own program option, go for it. Keep in mind, the goal of your program must be to calculate something using the operations and functions you've learned up to this point. Your program must output the following. It's got to have item names and values and results of the calculations. So if you don't want to do a restaurant or don't want to do a shopping list, and there's something else you want to do that would be the same type of program with costs and tax and shipping or tips or whatever it would be, you can do it about something totally different rather than shopping or a restaurant. It just has to use all these math functions, right? So here's some possible options, like a mini vacation. Calculate the total cost of a two-day, one-night vacation with airfare, lodging, and 2 meals per day. Coupon Mania, the total percentage of savings on 3 grocery items. Stock Supreme, the total profit or loss of a stock of your choice over 5 days for someone who owns 1,000 shares. Just throwing some more options out there. But again, if you have something else that you really want to do, you have that option. All right, so that's all step 1, choosing and planning what you want to do. Step 2 is the design. It's time to design your program by writing the pseudocode. So it must include the following elements. Input statements. You have to ask the user for at least 3 numeric values. That would be costs, right? Numeric would be cost or something. Show proper use of the integer and float functions. You got to show the calculations to achieve the correct output. Use the proper order of operations and any appropriate math functions. And then the output statements are clear and well-organized data to share the data and the results and show the proper use of the string function, right? Again, insert your pseudocode here. You got to include your pseudocode when you turn this in. All right, step 3. Use the following guidelines to code your program. Use Python idle. Using comments, put a heading that has your name, today's date, and a short description of the program, like we do every time. Follow the Python style conventions regarding indentation, use of white space, and use meaningful names for all variables. Don't call them variable 1, variable 2, variable 3. Call it menu item 1, appetizer 1, whatever you're doing. Meaningful names. Example of expected output. The output for your program should resemble the following type screenshot. Like here's some examples. It could be different depending on what you choose. Time to shop Etsy, your order. Here's the item, brass duck bookends, crochet flamingo embroidery bow tie. Here's the cost, $55.75, $25, $34.95 or $34.98. Subtotal, here's the amount of tax, here's the shipping, here's your order total. Thank you for shopping. So that would be a wonderful output for a shopping type one. It's time for a mini vacation. Your vacation expenses to St. Augustine, Florida. Airfare, hotel for first night and second night, because there's 2 nights, I said, and meals. And here's your total. Enjoy your trip. So that is just a sample of output. All right, then here's where you put your idle code. Remember, you're going to copy and paste that code, and don't give me a screenshot of it, because I need to take your code and I need to run it and I need to put in my 3 things or whatever inputs it asks for. So insert a copy of your code here. And then finally test it. Run your code, evaluate the output. Does it do what you expected it to do, or do you need to fix something? And then answer these questions. What bugs did you identify and how did you fix them? And then it's got step 5, the maintenance. In 2 or 3 meaningful sentences, answer the following questions in the maintenance chart to complete the next steps of your program. So this is new. All right, this is the last thing. So that's the last thing on the page. Maintenance question. What design and functionality improvements could you make looking at it now, you say, oh, well, it'd be better if I added this or if I could do that. How can you get feedback on ways to improve your program? If you ran that, how could you get feedback from users? How can you expand your program into a better program in the future? And what are the potential bugs users may encounter if your program is expanded to a new program? All right, so that is the maintenance questions at the end after the testing questions. So this is your module 2 test. This is basically the exam. It's all a project now. It's like, I don't need to ask you questions. I need you to be able to show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. So that's what you have this week. I wouldn't do it today. You're going to be out Halloween and full of candy, but unless you do it early in the day. But that's it. If you have any questions on that, I'm happy to answer it. But it's basically just taking everything that we've done, putting it all together, and turning it in. So, all right. Guess I don't need to keep you any longer. There's no lesson this week. I'll show you what you have to do this week. Get that turned in by Sunday, and I will see you next time.